long way, shit a long way. Long way, hit the long way. Long way, 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 shit long way, long shit long way, long way, long way, long way, long way, long way, shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way. Gotta get the shit a long way. Finish rich, yeah. Gotta get the shit a long way. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta know what she don't really understand, man. Gotta get a meal, but she don't understand. She be tripping every day, she be tripping every way. But I gotta get this shit the long way. Tryna get money every single way. Tryna get money every single day, yeah. Get money every single way, every day. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. Every day we gotta get paid, yeah. I'm feeling like we be a new slave, yeah. No, we gotta finish rich, no, we gotta finish rich. Got a new bitch, she don't understand rich. She don't understand, niggas gotta get rich. She don't understand, sometimes we gotta hit lit. No, we ain't hit lit, tryna get the long way, yeah. Tryna get the shit the long way, yeah. Coach is tryna wrap up a entree, yeah. Told you the other day that did my palm strong. We gon' shoot the long way, we gon' get the long way, yeah. Yeah, I get the shit the long way. My bitch be tripping back and forth like a palm way. My name's Atari, I ain't playing games, so I'm done Atari. Yesterday she told me that she about to leave, I said fuck it, bitch, we gon' get some money. I said fuck it, bitch, I'm about to get some money. So what I do today, I want to get some money, yeah. Cause we gon' get the shit the long way, we gon' get shit the long way, yeah. Back and forth like the palm way, yeah. Man, I'ma get the shit the long way, get the shit the long way. Just the only way today, because they go with shit's crazy. We gotta wear a mask, we the new slaves, and we be wearing this shit like every day. We be okay, we gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, they gon' be okay, for me, yeah. So we gon' get this shit the long way, we gon' get this shit long way, we gon' get this shit the long way, we gon' get this shit the long way, yeah, we get this shit the long way, yeah, cause we gon' be okay, we gon' be okay, yeah, we gon' get the long way, yeah.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. I'm your host, LJ, the founder of SMD. What's up, Aaron? Aaron's always in here first. What's up? The founder of SMD, and I am a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them mathematically see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is a place where unconscious debt slaves live. Now, there's two kinds, There's unconscious debt slaves and conscious debt slaves. Unconscious debt slaves cannot see negative numbers psychologically, which is my gift that I'm sharing with you guys today. I have the ability to see negative numbers psychologically, okay? Debt slaves cannot. This is what I mean. I always give this example. If you believe you're a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage, open up your calculator, put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance, and hit equal. As you listen to the sound of my voice, as you look at the calculator, I just want you to listen to the sound of my voice, okay? The reason why you believe you're a homeowner is because you cannot see negative numbers psychologically, okay? All right. So that was me from about age 18 to 40. I lived in the debt matrix the whole time. Didn't know that. Didn't even know it. Okay, I'm gonna shorten this story up. Found Dave Ramsey. I knew something was wrong when I was in the debt matrix, but I found Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey basically says, take the arithmetic that we all learned in grade school, apply it to your personal finances using these baby steps, and you will free yourself. And that's what I did. I followed his steps, got to zero, paid off all my debts, got to zero. And at that moment, and I'm just skipping ahead because I knew there was a wonderful feeling like a weight had been lifted off my shoulders when I reached zero. What it really meant is that I owned myself. This was the first time I owned myself. I had never, ever in my entire adult life owned myself. And you're probably thinking, well, what do you mean, LJ, by own yourself? I didn't realize my credit report, a credit report is an owner's ledger. That's an owner's ledger. You go into your credit report, and that's a list of all your owners. And until you pay back every single one of those owners on your credit report, you can never own yourself because they own you. That's how it works. I didn't know that till I got to zero, till I owned myself. And now, fast forward to my ability, which is a gift, the ability to see negative numbers psychologically. That's just a fancy way of saying I trust the calculator when it comes to money always. That's what it really is. But psychologically, it's bigger than that. It's psychological. You don't know that until you own yourself. If you've never paid off, if you've never been at zero and you thought, and you're one of the unconscious debt slaves that walk around and think debt is part of life, you can't, that means you've never owned yourself if you believe debt is part of life. That's a lie. That's not true. Debt is just not part of life. You choose it. So my point is this, owning yourself, many will never do, nor know even exist. And it doesn't matter what they believe, how they think they're doing something. It doesn't matter. If they have a long list in their personal credit report, they don't own themselves. And the words coming out of their mouth means nothing. They don't own themselves. Now, my point is this: when you reach this level of owning yourself, you will never accept anyone or anybody's opinion or how they feel about you, how they look at you, if they don't own themselves. That's like taking an opinion from a debt slave. Debt slaves don't know they're debt slaves, and they don't even own themselves, and they don't even know they don't own themselves. Why would you care the opinions of debt slaves? I don't. It doesn't matter if they know or not. It's irrelevant. Because in order for this economy to work, it's a psychological economy, and the majority must be in debt for all capitalist economies to work, period. Now this segues into to the topic, because I noticed, like, and as a black man too, I noticed when I go to just different channels, damn near every channel is downing women, calling bitches and hoes, and bitches ain't shit, and men are above them, and bitches don't know. It's like every channel talking about the same fucking thing. Sounding like a bunch of angry dudes. And the reason why I could say that, because I was one of them when I was in debt and I didn't own myself. I was an angry dude. Once I own myself and look back and I say, I put myself there in all those situations with the woman. That was me. Because today, by me owning myself, I would never put myself in those situations, because I would never, ever get serious with a person that doesn't own themselves. Now, for the women, it's like, it's weird, now I'm not a woman, but I'm just on the outside looking in, okay? Women gotta be tired. I mean, I'm here to tell you, women, that's bullshit. I want you guys to understand all that. It's like when you hear dudes talk like that, you can't stop them and say, hey, wait a minute, you do know we all came from a woman, right? You do know that, right? Man or boy or girl, we all come from a woman. So when you calling bitches and hoes and shit, are you talking about your mama, your sisters, your auntie? Who are you talking about? Oh, you're picking and choosing. Oh, that's what you thought you can do. You can't do that. Now, I want women to understand, if you adopt, and I'm gonna just be straight up with you so you can understand. It doesn't matter. I just want to. I'm telling you some information. If you take the time and own yourself, come see me. I will help you own yourself. Once you own yourself, listen, you will never, ever, ever be affected by an unconscious debt slave. If a man's trying to put you down, this is what you turn to him and say, are you making car payments? If the dude says yes, say shut the fuck up. You're a debt slave. Oh, bitch, you a hoe. You on OnlyFans and tricking and this and uh, do you got a mortgage? Yeah, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? Debt slave? You got student loans? Yeah, shut up. I don't care what you can call me a hoe, trick, whatever. Making 60, 70,000. Listen, some of these women, and this is not, I'm not even, I'm almost damn near pissed. Some of these women making 50, $100,000 a month, and they calling them bitches and hoes. Where are they getting the money from? What the? I don't even understand that type of talk. What do you mean? Who's giving them $100,000 a month? Who are you calling the trick? That doesn't make any sense to me. Who's the trick? As a woman, you would. I'm telling you. Let me tell you something. Okay, I own myself. I don't care the opinions of unconscious debt slaves. I only can see them when I need to see them. Don't be fooled by what you hear on the channels. Don't be fooled by the amount of subscribers. I promise you this. All you have to do is this. Can I see your personal credit report? Why? I need to see how many owners you have. Debt slave? Because when you own yourself, it's blank because you have no owners. There are no owners. It's zero. How many unconscious debt slaves realize what their personal credit report says everything? Women, do you know how you could easily filter through some of these dudes that be talking so much alpha male bullshit? I'm the ultimate alpha male, the debt-free kind. All you got to say is, can I see your personal credit report? Hey, I don't care about your cars, your houses, your jewelry, what you got on, what you do for a living, doctor, lawyer. You said just like this, I don't give a fuck. I need to see your personal credit report. I guarantee you that will filter through 90% of the problems you have. And all you have to do is first own yourself. Once you own yourself, it's like having x-ray vision through all the bullshit. And the reason why I'm talking to women have they're more emotional and they say, oh, it's because I fall in love. Let me tell you something, women. Let me tell you something. Once you own yourself, I promise you, you will be in full control of that. Why? Because you will never have feelings for an unconscious debt slave man. Motherfucker call you a hoe and you say, are you making car payments? Yeah, shut the fuck up. You're making car payments, debt slave. You don't listen to people that don't own themselves. But first, you must own yourself. When I constantly hear this, you know me, I do the opposite of the majority. The opposite. I consider myself the ultimate alpha male that can see. I don't look at women as below me. I just look at another human being. Because if I'm talking like that, that means I'm talking about my own mama, my own sister. I'm not doing that. It makes absolutely no sense. And that's how you will look at it. What I'm explaining to you right now, you don't have to tell them that. Because they can't, even if you told it to them like that, they still can't see it. So you just be quiet. You own yourself first, and then you will have x-ray vision through all of that. Women don't even realize. I really, sometimes when I watch like shows, I just want to go, do you guys understand that the show would not exist if it wasn't for you women on the show? You do know that, right? It's because of you is why the show exists. Without you, there would be no show. If the women, hey, let me tell you something. I'm just sharing information with you, women. I'm telling you, own yourself first, get out of debt, own yourself, and your whole world will change forever. You'll never allow yourself to be on a show and be belittled by people in the chat? Fuck no, you wouldn't. No, that doesn't happen. Why? Because half the people talking about you are in debt. Those are people in student loan debt, making car payments, financing cell phones. Those are the people that you're getting a lot of opinions on. Who cares what debt slaves think? Who cares? They're financing cell phones. Who cares what they think? That's all you got to ask. Half of them that be talking shit. Hey, did you finance their cell phone? When they say yes, that's it. You don't need to have to. Don't worry about anything else that's coming out of their mouth. They're financing cell phones. I know a lot of women come up. What are you talking about? What do you mean? All you got to do. Hey, listen. I'm gonna tell you, women. All you have to do to understand what I'm saying, trust the calculator. That's all you have to do. Trust your calculator. Always, and when it comes to finances, always trust your calculator. This is what I mean. Put in your mortgage payment minus your mortgage balance and hit equal. When you look at that number, you have to say to yourself, I'm not a homeowner. I'm a loan owner. Say, for example, you own a Tesla. I want you to put in your car payment minus your car balance. And as you look at that number, I want you to say, I'm not saving any money on gas. You have to say that to yourself by trusting the calculator. You see that large negative number? You have no money. You're in debt. You're not saving anything. You're in debt. People in debt cannot save, cannot reduce their tax bracket. Like, here's another thing. Okay. And this is for the women. I want you guys to understand something. When somebody claims to be in a high tax bracket, that's a problem. That's nothing to, being in a high tax bracket is nothing to brag about. That's not a bragging. But when you hear a person brag about being in a high tax bracket, they're telling you the truth that they don't have no money. Because people with money make sure they don't be in high tax brackets. That would be wrong. That would be doing the thing the wrong way. Not the right way, the wrong way. You don't brag to be in a high tax bracket. That's a trick, ladies. That's a trick, women. You come across a man that he's a professional. You see, you look like he got money or whatever. You say, do you got student loan debt? Yeah. Disregard everything you're seeing, because everything you see is a mathematical illusion. His car, his jewelry, his house, everything, because you cannot own nothing with student loan debt. That's impossible. It's just crazy, and I when I see women come up and try to argue something with them, it's like, why are you doing that? You arguing is glorifying the point. No, you don't argue with debt slaves. Because men who are free like me, I would never do that, ever. The world inside of me, the world outside of me reflects the world inside of me. I don't allow that to come in, especially from unconscious debt slaves, from anybody making Hey, listen, anybody making student loan payments, trying to giving you their opinion about you, disregard it. They're debt slaves and they don't even know it. Debt slaves can't have opinions. Only if you women knew. Ooh, if you women knew. If you women knew. All that shit is a program. You're beneath men and all this. You're lesser than dudes and all. Hey, man. Hey, I'm just saying something. You better not get caught up in that. Own yourself first, and you'll filter through all the bullshit. So, like, somebody comes, start giving you their opinion, and you find out they have a VA mortgage. Shut up, debt slave. Shut up. Why? You have a VA mortgage. You don't know the problem in that? That's a problem. If you hear a man talking about the equity in his house, what equity means that you have a mortgage. And if you have a mortgage, you don't own shit. Own yourself, and you'll clearly see equity is not real. That's something made up by the banks. Debt slaves just believe it. They believe, listen, especially the dudes, man, they believe they own the equity in a house that they didn't even have the money to buy, because there's only one way to buy anything. That's cash, baby, cash. There is no other way to buy a house. You can't buy a house with a mortgage. That's impossible. You can't do that. That goes against all the laws of mathematics. You cannot buy a house with a mortgage. You can't do that. If buy means cash, because buying, I want you guys to understand something. Buying means financing. I'm telling you, man, man, it's clear when I go around to other channels and I just hear how much these dudes talk about women, it's clear to me that the women are doing something, they're doing the best. They're always being talked about. Why? I don't get it. All you have to do is own yourself first. Own yourself, and you won't care, especially for men who are unconscious debt slaves. All of it, I keep telling you guys, it's all a program. That's a pro. Man, women make less than men, and men are hey, that's all learned from TV, books, all that stuff. Own yourself first. You'll see what it really is. You're going to find that there's not many people that do. And the people that do, especially us men that are debt free, we're different. We're not the same. We're not the same. No, we own ourselves. So it's very different. Once you get to this level, you'll understand time is the most valuable thing on earth. Of course, we're going to be dead one day. Time. Once you understand that, everything changes. You won't allow anyone to waste your time. Anyone. And you'll tell them, don't waste my time. It doesn't matter if they like it or not. It doesn't matter. Don't waste my time. You will teach other people how to respect your time. You'll teach them. I'm telling you, this shit would be like X-ray vision for women. X-ray vision. They wouldn't even know that you're listening, because you got to remember, debt-free is a language. Now listen to me. Debt-free is a language that unconscious debt slaves don't even know exist, because all they know is debt. So they only speak debt. And they don't know it because it's psychological. They believe car payments are normal, phone payments are normal. Paying on student loans forever, your entire life, is normal. That's called debt speak. You know how much I'm your problems, what you guys hear on a daily basis, because I can only imagine if I'm tuned in as a man just to see how much it's said, bitches and hoes. It's just the way they refer. I was like, damn, that now if I was a woman and I heard that shit all my life, it probably starts sinking in like that's normal. That shit ain't normal. That's not normal. Because once you own yourself, and this is the best way I can explain it. Once you own yourself and you hear a word like that coming out of a man's mouth that has student loan debt, it won't affect you the same, because that dude is a debt slave. That's why the debt slave is talking like that. thinking respect has something to do with gender. No, it doesn't. It has nothing to do with that. Do you own yourself? No, that's why you're talking like that. Because once you own yourself, you don't disrespect other people for no necessary reason. You just don't do that. Because there's no reason for it. That would be actually wasting my time. Looking up, you hear them look up all the statistics. Hey, 50% of black. And I want you guys to understand something when you guys hear this. This is very important, okay? When you hear most of these people, especially unconscious debt slaves, shoot out all these statistics, they're talking about the average. The average is made up of millions upon millions upon millions of debt slaves making financial decisions and the way they do things as one. Once you own yourself, you are no longer part of the average. Those statistics no longer apply to you. That's why they call them the average. The average this, the average that. Well, they don't tell you that you don't have to be part of the average. Once you own yourself, you're no longer part of the average. So all those statistics mean absolutely nothing. That's for the ones that want to be average. Hey, the average car payment is this. And if your car payment is that, then I guess you're part of the average. Same thing goes with mortgages. Same thing goes for the average credit card payment. It's the same thing. If you're around that, they're talking to you. They're not talking to me or anyone like me, because we're not part of the average. We own ourselves. You hear them brag on credit score, credit score, credit score. They know nothing else than that. All they got to do is look a little deeper and see a list of all their owners. That's an owner's ledger. Credit reports are owner's ledgers. They don't even know that. Again, you come across a dude that he's bragging about his credit. Hey, 9 times out of 10, unconscious debt slave, because there's no reason to brag about your credit score. That means nothing. I would never brag about my credit score because it doesn't mean anything. Because as a woman, you got to just be, I don't know, man. When I'm hearing, I'm like, damn, the words just come out like they just flow. And I think to myself, why would a woman just even bother getting up there to try to defend that kind of behavior? That would be a total waste of time. I guarantee you, when you hear dudes talk like that, all you got to do is say this: do you have student loan debt? If they say yes, you say to yourself, that's why they're talking like that. They're debt slaves. Are you making car payments? Yeah, that's why you're talking like that. That's why you're calling those bitches and hoes. Why? Because you're making car payments, debt slave. Those words will bounce right off you like Superman bullets bounce off of Superman, because you will know where they're coming from. You're in a relationship or you start talking, and then all of a sudden the dude is doing funny things. You can't keep track of where his money. All you got to do is say, hey, can I see your personal credit report? That's all you got to do. That's it. What's he going to say? No? And if you're in a relationship, hey, listen. If you're in a relationship and you can't see your partner's personal credit report, that's a problem. You could share your body with each other, even have children. Listen, or even have children together. But if you turn to your partner and say, can I see your personal credit report? And they say no, oh man, that's a problem. That's a problem. That's a big problem. Because listen, ladies, listen. Half your problems will be resolved if you can just take one look at their personal credit report. It'll answer all damn near 90% of your questions. Where's he getting all this money from? How's he afford this house? How does he have all his cars and this and that? All you got to do is look at the personal credit report. It'll tell you everything. I'm telling you, women insults would bounce off you like bullets off of Superman. Same thing. It wouldn't, hey, you're a debt slave. I don't care what you say. The shit is almost irritating, man. It's like, damn, man, I don't get it. That's a lot of angry dudes, man. A lot of angry dudes. Angry dudes, man. Angry. All you gotta do is look in the mirror. Just look in the mirror. This SMD knowledge, that would be like, I'm telling you, a woman, man. Oh, Monique already has it. Maybe she can explain it better. Frenchelle, she got it. I need more women to come up and explain the difference. With this knowledge, life has got to be different. I'm not making this shit up, and I'm not even a woman. It just has to be that way. I mean, I'll be watching these shows, man. I just want to go. Of course, I'm not going to disrupt business. Okay, what the other guys doing the channels, that's just business. It's just business. Okay, I'm not here to disrupt their channel. But if women knew that it's because of you, the reason why those shows are successful, it's because of you. The show would not, half of these shows you see would not be successful if it wasn't for the women that's on them. You're probably thinking, well, how do you know this, LJ? Because I would never pay for an open OnlyFans. I would never do that, ever. I would never do it. I'm not saying you're a bad person because you do, or what. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I would never do that. Never have, never will. You see it, you'll hear a show talk about a OnlyFans woman showing whatever and making $100,000 a month, calling her a bitch and a hoe. I'm like, who's the bitch and who's the hoe? She's making $100,000 a month. Who's the hoe in this? Wait a minute. Who's the hoe? I don't get it. Outside looking in, I could see the women that just don't know. It's almost just, it bothers me sometimes. It's like, get on a show. Oh, you're about a 6. Says who? The host? Do you think, hey, do you think you're a 6? All that matters is, do you think you're a 6? Not somebody outside of you. Especially if the man saying it is in debt. It doesn't matter the opinions of debt slaves. Doesn't matter. Once you reach this level, that's how it will be. You won't care what you won't care what they think, what they believe, what they have in their financial portfolios, what they do. You won't care what they do. That's all part of the program. You let them believe whatever they want to believe. What's up, Andre? Scout? The shit, it just makes no sense to me. I'm like, do women know? Do they know the power they have right now? They got the men are always after the pussy, and none of these shows would exist without them. Do they know what? I think I don't know. They must. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I never forget. This is when I realized something when I was at a young age. I remember I was 18, right? And as soon as I turned 18 in Seattle, Washington, you can go to the strip clubs. I was all excited about that. I was like, cool, man. So 18 turn, I went to the strip club. I was like, oh, yeah, I'm about to get me a dance. And I decided to wait for like a Prince song because I knew Prince songs were long. So I'm like, yeah, I'm going to wait for me a Prince song to come on. Prince song comes on. Call over the lady. She comes give me a lap dance. And back then, I'm 18 years old making $5-6 an hour. Okay. So $20-$30 is a lot. So She gives me a dance on the Prince song. I'm like, yeah, I'm listening to the song. And then all of a sudden it just cuts off in about a minute and a half. And she was like, oh, that'll be $30. I was like, $30? Now, I wasn't upset at the woman. I was like, she just made, this is what I said at 18. She just made $30 in a minute and a half at me at $5 an hour. It took me 4 or 5 hours to make that $30. No, it took me more than that because it's minus taxes. I was jealous. I didn't look at the woman as like a bitch and a hoe and she's a nasty. No, I was like, damn, I'm jealous. You did that in a minute and a half? And then I never went back to a strip club again. I was like, nah, this ain't, strip clubs ain't for me. Nah, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. That was the one and only time I went. The one and only time. So even as grown men, me and my friends used to go to Vegas all the time. And they said, hey man, we're going to hit up the strip club. All right, call me when you guys are done. I'm going to wait in the hotel room. I ain't going to no strip club. No, thank you. Why? Because I'm going to be mad how much money they making and I got to keep working a job. I don't care. You know what? I had to keep this shit to myself. I couldn't tell my friends about it. Even back then, I knew something was wrong. I knew I was missing a piece. I knew I was. I was missing a piece. And now today I found it. That's why lately it's been coming to me a lot to talk to women. It really has. It's just been, for some reason, it's just been coming to me lately. It's like women need to know this shit. You guys need to know. I mean, think about it. Think about these shows. If it wasn't for you, would they be successful? Of course not. Once you own yourself, you'll know that. You'll know that. You'll be like, oh no, I ain't doing none of that. I don't care what you think, what you say. It's just, ooh. And we all come from women. Boy and girl come from women. It's like, when you say that, you are you not including your mama and your sisters and your cousins and your aunties? I mean, you can't be, are you including all women? When you do the opposite, first listen, once you own yourself, you'll see how much everything's unlimited. You can do everything. You can do anything. You can make as much money as you wish. You can do anything. Nothing will stop you. Nothing. You'll realize limits are only physical. They're not psychological. They're physical. And whatever you can think of psychologically, if you have no limits, you can make it physical. That's why I'm here on the mic today. You think when I quit my job back in 2016 that I was gonna start SMD? You think that I didn't know? Quitting my job back in 2016 was just like step one. Everything that had been programmed into me had to be broken. The 40-hour work week program, that's a program. Monday through Friday, 8 hours. Anything over 8 hours is overtime. That's all a program. That's a program. If you choose that, you can choose that. How do you choose that? By not trusting the calculator. That's how you choose that. If you don't trust the calculator, you're choosing it. If you work at a place where your boss talks to you like shit, you're choosing it. You're choosing to allow your boss to talk to you like shit. You're choosing it. The information, I'm just sharing information. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. I'm not trying to, hey, you should do it my way. I'm just trying to share something with you. That's it. That's the one thing I love about what I do today. I don't have to convince you of the truth. I don't have to do that. Either you just believe the truth or not. If you're a woman with low self-esteem, I promise you that will change. Once you own yourself, that will change. You specifically looking for a certain type of relationship, maybe it's a totally serious monogamous relationship. You can find that. First own yourself. Guess what? If you want that, first own yourself, and guess what? You'll never accept anything less than that. Do you own yourself? No, then we can't be together. Why? You don't own yourself. Once you own yourself, you won't waste your time. Maybe you'll have sex with them, maybe you won't, but you'll make a very, very logical decision. Because you'll never, ever biologically procreate with an unconscious debt slave. Because if you do, guess what? You'll be in family court, lawyers, stupid ass arguments going back and forth in the court, spending all that unnecessary, stupid, retarded money in family court visits, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 2 to 5, and then Saturday and Sunday. No, you want it. Hey, none of that shit. None of that. You don't have to be, hey, you don't have to be part of that. I want you guys to understand, you don't have to be part of that. Just don't procreate with unconscious debt slaves. If you come across a man and he's deep in debt and he's behind on his child support and he's in trouble with the IRS, that dude is far from owning himself. You might as well not even waste your time. Don't waste it. Hey, listen. If you find out, this is what you got to, this is what you really, women, I hope you're listening. If they have IRS debt, student loan debt, restitution debt, all the debts you have to pay back, every penny, that's a problem. I'd be angry too. I'd be angry about that. That's because that person's deep in debt, and the only way they can get out of that kind of debt, they have to work and pay back every single penny of it. You can't bankrupt punishment debt, student loan debt, IRS debt. You save yourself so much time. No longer accept disrespected name calling. You just won't accept that anymore. Those days are done. Oh, shut up, bitch. Okay, relationship's over. Why? You call me a bitch. It's done. And you just make it clear. Say like you get in a relationship. And when you own yourself, listen, this is what you'll say. And you'll say it just like this. Listen, you decide you come across somebody and you're in a relationship. This is what you'll say right at the beginning. I don't accept infidelity of any kind. If I find any infidelity, not just sex, text messages, emails, meetups, without knowing, the relationship's over. Especially if you share your body with another person, the relationship's over. Because once you own yourself and you get with another person that also owns themselves, which is very rare, you would never fuck it up by sharing your body with another person, that because you know how rare that is. But if you come across a relationship, you make it clear up front. If you do that, the relationship's over, and you got to mean that shit. You got to look them in their eye, because 9 times out of 10, especially the men, they won't believe you. They'll be like, yeah, whatever. But once I lay this dick on her or whatever, right? But when you own yourself, it's very different. You'll say, hey, let me make sure this is clear. I don't want you to think infidelity just means sex. I don't want you to misunderstand that. It means anything that is inappropriate that should not be happening. Why? Because I'm not doing it to you. I respect the same in return. You make that clear. And then when you find it, you'll say, hey, remember what I told you in the beginning of this relationship? Yeah, it's over. It's over. I know you guys think I'm joking, but when you own yourself, it'll be just like that, and it will be that easy. Because this is the one thing. Once you get out of the debt matrix, you'll see what the men that fuck around on the woman, they don't really understand. The only person that needs to know is the man that did the fucking, because the energy is changed forever at that moment. Say like he goes away, has sex. There's no way, went to another state. There's no way you could have found out that he had sex with somebody else and he comes home. I promise you the energy is different. Why? Because he knows he did it. He can't come home and erase it from his brain that he did it. So the energy is going to be different. And what's so crazy, a lot of women put this energy down or throw it away like it's nothing. No, if you feel that means it not the psychotic talking about. I'm talking about the real shit. You'll be going through your day and all of a sudden it just hit you out of nowhere and it'd be like, boom, whoa, where'd that come from? Oh, there's a reason why it's there. People always doubt the energy because they ain't got proof. And don't get me wrong, I get it. But I'm gonna tell you something right now. When it's not in your relationship, you never feel that ever. That feeling never happens. The feeling of needing to check the phone, that doesn't happen. That doesn't exist. What's up, Snuggles? Kenneth? What's going on? Thinking that it has to do with a person, a certain race, or from a certain country, all of it is bullshit. You mean crazy is only in a certain color? There's only bad people in a certain race? There's only bad people in a certain what are you talking about? That makes absolutely no sense. The majority of people like that, they're not looking in the mirror. They're looking every place else but the mirror. When all they got to do is look in the mirror. There lies the problem, the mirror. You know how many people would never do that and don't even know to look in the mirror? The same way there are millions of people with mortgaged homes and they all believe they're homeowners. The same thing. Only if women knew, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. It's just I can't even. Hey, listen, I can't even watch those shows, and I'm a dude. All I hear is angry dudes. You know what? I want to jump in there. They wouldn't even understand why I'm asking the question. I think about when I was angry. I was paying $1,000 a month for one child, and I was angry about that shit. You know, I was angry about it because I was in debt. Here I am making six figures. Listen, six figures, complaining about $12,000 a year. Now, had I not been in debt, I would have thought to myself, how stupid does that sound? Me making $160,000 a year, and I'm complaining about $12,000. Oh my God, that's too much. Oh, something's wrong with me. All I do is look in the mirror and say, Linnell, why are you complaining about $12,000 when you make $160,000? Because I was in debt. That's why. And then when you get out of debt matrix, you'll start hearing all the people like, why does everybody think six figures is a lot of money? Because that's part of the program. Six figures ain't nothing. Six figures, six figures. Nobody needs to take a step back and say, "Hey, why are you thinking? What's the deal with the six-figure number? Why is that? Is that a lot of money to people? Yeah, because the majority. Listen, this is why they say six figures, because the majority of people have never made it, and the majority of them never will. That's what woke me up. I'm telling you, that was the trigger. I got to the six figures. I got over six figures that everybody's trying to get to, and I got there. You know what I said? Now what? Okay, I'm here. What's supposed to be here? Nothing's there. I was in debt. Car payments, mortgage payments, credit card payments. I was like, I'm at the six-figure mark where everybody's trying to reach. And I got there and nothing's there. Nothing's there. And then once I got out of debt, you realize that ain't no money. Six figures minus taxes. You think you're rich? Hey, man, that's a problem. What's up, Grump? Omanike? So, ladies, you come across a dude that's bragging on six figures, you say, what's your tax bracket? If they look at you like, huh? That's a problem. What do you mean? You don't know your tax bracket? In dating, how does a woman ask the man she is dating how much debt she is in? In dating, how does a woman ask the man? That's a very good question. Okay. Now you can't do that directly. Okay. But this is what you can do. I'm gonna give you these hints. Okay. Usually the guy will drive up in a nice car, or they might live in a nice house, or they might have the latest iPhone. Okay. Now, let's go with the phone. Let's go with the easiest one, because people love Apple has made people believe that if you have the latest iPhone, you're cool. Okay. Congratulations, Apple. First question you ask, you say, hey, is that the new iPhone? Everybody love to brag. Yeah, that is. Then you say, how much was it? Now, that's a very common question. If they say $1,500 plus tax, I'll believe that they bought the phone in cash. If they say something like, I don't know, or hell, they might even tell you they're making monthly payments, that's a problem. That tells you pretty much their whole entire life, their financial life, if they're making cell phone payments. Now, okay, she said dating. She is dating how much? And if you're in the relationship, I would find out, are you making, if they got a nice car, you find out if they're making car payments. Hey, how much is that? How much is that per month? If they mention a car payment, that's a problem. Only unconscious debt slaves finance cars. Only unconscious debt slaves finance things that go down in value. Exactly, Andre. Six figures of a W-2 is a problem. Along my journey, things like that, what Andre saying, is that what's woke me up? Because I remember when I was making high five figures, and then I finally crossed over the six-figure mark. I was excited to see my next check. I was like, oh my God, I can't wait to see my check making six figures. And guess what? The check with the raise was less than the check previous to it, making less. And I was like, what? That makes absolutely no sense. Guess what I learned? Tax brackets. Once I understood tax brackets, I said, oh, that's why it's less. What can I do? And then the government just says, hey, this is what you can do to change it. Okay, cool. I'm gonna do that. But in order to take advantage of tax breaks, you must invest in something. But to invest in something, you must have money. Therefore, it's impossible if you're in debt, it's impossible for you to lower yourself in your tax bracket while you're in debt. That's impossible. Six figure of what? The most highly taxed form of income, not attractive at all. Kenneth says, I still remember people asking me how much I paid for my 13 Pro. I told them $1,081 cash. They looked at me like crazy. See what I'm saying? People that pay cash for phones, they tell you that they pay cash, and they know down to the dollar because they had to toss over that cash. Anybody you ask that takes a guess at how much the phone is, that means they're making phone payments. Because if you dropped $1,000, you're going to tell the people around you that you dropped $1,000. This is how women, hey, women, this is how you can do that. Because most dudes love to show off stuff. What they don't know is that if they're making payments, who cares about the bank stuff? That's the banks. That's the bank's car. That's the bank's house. That's the bank. If they put in vacations on credit cards, the bank financed all that for them. They have nothing. Should a woman date a man that doesn't budget and live above his means? No, sir. No, unless you want to be just like him. If you're, put it this way, if you're seeing that, you already see the problem. Oh, he's living above his means and he doesn't budget. That's a debt problem. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, living way above your means. No, that means you're in debt, because that's what it automatically means. If you're living above your means, that means you're deep in debt. Because listen, if cash was the only thing that debt slaves have, they couldn't live beyond their means because they wouldn't have more cash. But if they're living beyond their means, by default says they're in debt. That's by default. They don't know that. What's up, El Selector? Kenneth says, they looked at me crazy. I didn't finance it. Like, what? Exactly. Because you got to remember, Kenneth, this is the bigger picture, Kenneth. The reason why phones are that high, because they want debt slaves to think it's normal to finance phones. Right now, they all believe it's normal to finance a phone. The majority of them do. That way, if they not only do they make so much money financing a depreciating object, if you thought a car goes down in value, imagine a phone. By getting them into financing phones, that means they're locked into the phone prices that the companies charge. That's why T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon try to stuff Apple phones down your throat. Come in, we'll pay your old one off. Come trade up, stay forever new or whatever. They try to wrap you in there. That way you are stuck at the phone prices they charge, because if debt slaves knew how much real phone, monthly phone, cell phone charges, they would shit their pants. You know, I pay $99 a year for my phone. $99 a year. With the phone of my choice, okay? Not no old flip phone. That's what debt slaves think. They think if you pay a low price in monthly cell phone service, your phone must be. No, it's whatever phone I decide to buy to go with the plan. So if I decide to go buy iPhone 13 Pro, I just go buy it and add it to and put my plan on it. That's it. See, I'm still learning that stuff. Still learning it. But you think in a million years I would have never known a credit report is nothing more than an owner's ledger. I would have never in a million years saw that. When I was in debt, I worshiped credit just like everybody does. Improve your credit. That's why there's 15 million credit repair people out there, because credit don't mean shit. Don't mean nothing. It's just an owner's ledger. The owners within your credit report reward you with credit score points for staying in debt. Hey, thank you for paying back our money on time. We're going to reward you with a good point. Here, debt slave. Thank you. Thank you for paying interest to us. Thank you. And here is the thank you, rewarding you with a good credit score. Gabriel says, when men say they're no alpha women, then you can't take them serious. You can't take them serious. Even you women, when you hear alpha males, this is what I want you to also think if you're listening to this later. Whenever you hear alpha males, first you got to think, wait, there's two kind of alpha males. There's debt-free alpha males. There's alpha males out here that own themselves. And then there's alpha males out here that are deep in debt. We are two different type of alpha males. I know about them. They don't know about me or anyone like me. Alpha males that are in personal debt, they don't know alpha males like me exist. We can see them, they can't see us. And just like that, we can see an alpha female. There's no misunderstanding. It's a language. You can see, hey, what's grounds number one to start in a relationship? You must own yourself. That's great. Hey, that's grounds number one. That's step one. Do you own yourself? I don't care how good, you won't care how good the sex is. You won't care how good they look. You won't care what kind of job they have. The first question you're going to ask, do you own yourself? If you don't, never mind. We ain't going nowhere. Why? Because I do. I own myself. And I'm not getting with anybody that doesn't. Especially the ones that don't care. These guys are practicing Sharia and don't know what tools. Sharia. I never even heard of that. I got to look that up. Ulysses says, LJ, you are a living legend. This content will be used for you forever. Hey, check this out, Ulysses. And I'm not even bragging. Every video I make will withstand the hands of times. It will always be relevant as long as I keep the years out of it. Because everything I say and everything I do will be that way until the end of time. The U.S. will remain capitalist until everybody on this channel, at least until we're dead. And as long as it's capitalist, that means the majority must remain in debt. There must be people to finance houses, cars, washer and dryers, phones, vacations, trips, whatever, you name it. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. As long as they keep doing it and as long as the majority. Just know whenever you Google something and the Google returns, hey, the average this, just understand they're not talking about us. They're talking about them. Once you own yourself, you're no longer part of the average because the average don't own themselves. That's why they have car payments, mortgage payments, credit card payments, vacation payments, refrigerator payments, furniture payments, dog payments, bird payments. Appreciate it, Kim, man. Long time no see. Can't ever get enough of your financial flow. Simplicity can be dynamic. Yeah, it's dynamic. I love it. I'm out here trying to help the women now, the scout. And it's crazy, man. I just every time I go to these channels, I swear they're just women bashing. I'm just like, damn, why? I don't get it. Why? Why so long? Like 3-4 hours too. I'm like, damn, you are angry. You probably got student loan debt. That's why you're angry, huh? You behind on your car payments? What's going on? Something's making you angry. Something is. You behind on child support? What's going on, man? Something's making you angry. And see what I'm saying, Kwame? It's like it's like when I hear dudes call women hoes, I'm thinking she makes $100,000 a month on OnlyFans. Who's a hoe? You mean she's making $100,000 and no niggas even, excuse me, I don't even talk like that. No dudes even touching her? You mean she don't even have to go to the club? She could be totally anonymous. Totally anonymous. And she's making 100, and you calling her a hoe? What? Who's paying her $100,000 a month? Hoes, male hoes. See, that kind of shit, that makes me jealous. I'm jealous. I'm jealous of that. Sometimes I'll sneak over there and watch Fresh and Fit. He'll have some girls up there, and some of these girls be coming on. Oh yeah, I have an OnlyFans, and I'm making 100,000. I'm not even really looking at the ladies. I'm looking at how much fucking money they're making. And I'm like, you calling her a bitch and a hoe? She's for the streets? What? What are you talking about? I don't get what you're talking about. You just want to jump on the show and say, wait, whoa. Who's paying them $100,000 a month? The hoes, the male hoes. The same dudes that are making car payments, paying the OnlyFans. What? You paying for OnlyFans? Yeah, man. Don't you got student loans? Yeah. Don't you got car payments? Yeah. What are you doing? I know, man. I see what they don't even have to fuck them. Don't even have to use their bodies physically. All they gotta do is get up, get some outfits, make a stage, turn on the camera, $100,000 a fucking month. I'm like, damn. She's a what? She's a hoe. I don't get it. I'm confused. Who be hurt? Who you talking about, Grump? Who be? Man, and tell you what, if you're a woman that's listening to this and you got a OnlyFans and you making 50 grand a month, do not be hurt by names from a male debt slave, okay? If they're making car payments, who cares what they think? If they have student loan debt, who cares what they think? It doesn't matter. Never care the opinions of debt slaves ever in under any capacity. I remember when I saw they said OnlyFans they're gonna stop the X-rated content. You know what I said to myself? No, they're not. No, they're not. What, they want to close business? If they would have prevented that kind of content on OnlyFans would no longer exist. Why do they exist? Because of the women. I keep repeating this over and over. You think OnlyFans exists because of the women on there? It just make no. Ooh. What's up, Heat? I wouldn't do it if I was a woman, but I don't mind the hoes. Just don't wife them. You know what? Even that, Heat. I'm just saying, hoes, wife, whatever. Hey, whatever. You know what's so crazy? This is so crazy, man. Dudes, we talking about wife. But then when they get this woman and the woman ain't doing what the hoe did, now they're back on the streets looking for the hoe. Let me put it this way. When you own yourself, listen, when you own yourself, you make sure every piece is there, not some of the pieces, not a quarter of the sex is good, but she doesn't have this. You don't settle until you have everything. Now, dudes think, oh man, that doesn't exist. Yes, it does. You know why? Because I don't accept anything less. That's why it exists. Because I would not accept anything less. It's up to me. It's up to me. When you, as a male, especially you young men, I want you guys to clearly understand something, okay? When you get out of debt and you own yourself, guess what? Your dick doesn't control you anymore. It doesn't. It's like this. Let me give you an example. Say like there's a married dude, right? You're married, and then you go and mess around on your wife, have sex with another woman, right? Now, if you was in control, if your dick did control you and your mind control you, be like, wait a minute, before I do this, what are the repercussions if I get caught? I'll lose my wife. I'll lose my family. I have to break up the house. I have to get lawyers to separate everything. When you control your dick, you think through all the consequences for this one action. How much is this action going to cost me, not only in money, but in time and hurt? Because at that moment, you're acting selfish, especially if you have kids. You're acting selfish. You're like, hey, I don't care if I have children. Who cares if I hurt them? It doesn't matter. I'm telling you, once you own yourself, those kind of things do not happen. If you're in a relationship, say like you're in a relationship and you wake up and the other person doesn't want to wake up, guess what? The relationship's over. I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to end the relationship. I'm going to be a man and end the relationship and then go do what I want to do. And then while I'm doing it, any woman that I come across, I'm going to tell her what I'm doing. Hey, you want to get with me? Yeah, I'm going to see other people anytime I want. You will not look at my phone because I'm seeing other people, so other people will be calling my phone. If you do that, our arrangement is over. And you will say it just like that. OnlyFans girls make more money in a month than some make in a year. Who's the alpha man? Man, I keep telling you, man. Hey, congratulations to them. Congratulations. I mean, they can make that much money in a room. Go get them a 2-bedroom apartment, make one room the studio and one the studio, and then their regular life. That camera does not come out of that room. And then if they do it right, put it this way. Let me tell you this way. If I ever get an OnlyFans woman that her personal finances are not straight and she's pulling down $100K a month, she need to come see me ASAP. ASAP. Make part of that room a write-off on taxes, all that. I'll tell you exactly how to get the right tax professional. I'll tell you everything. Can you imagine that? Have a regular life and then $100,000 a month room. That's it. Working the hours when she wants to work. Congratulations. Congratulations. You ain't no hoe in my eyes. Because you can only imagine like this. And I promise you this too. I promise you this. A woman in that capacity that makes that much money from a whole bunch of male hoes, I guarantee you it becomes a certain way. I mean, she's got to automatically look at me in a certain way because it is what it is, right? I guarantee if she comes across me or a man like me, she will clearly understand that I don't do that. I'm not them. I don't do things like that. It's clear. It's crystal clear. It's made clear. Oh yeah. My dick don't control me. No, no. I don't. I don't do that. No, sir. How much you want me to pay you a month to do what? To see something on a camera? No, I'm not doing any of that. What do you mean? Pornhub's free. Why would I pay you? That's how I think. LJ pimping. What's up, Dave Bourne? Dave Bourne says they're making money off of men while men are upset with that the women are doing. Right. The women are the smart ones. Sure are. They are. They are. Well, I tell you though, if this is you, I mean, you need to come see me. Here's my email. Reach out to me. I could change your life. This whole male woman thing that you hear on the internet and YouTube channels, it's all a program. That's a program. That's all the program. Mentor them to own. Like I said, hey Jewel, I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I ain't gonna lie. I'm jealous. $100,000 a month. Long as they're doing their taxes right, hey, it's all good. Whatever. Nah, but for real, you're right. Some guy who was in debt or unconscious slave be raging off the girls getting in her money. They sure do. I hear that grump. If I ever hear a dude raging like that, you know the question I'm asking? You making car payments? That's the question I'm gonna ask him. You making car payments? Yeah, that's why you're angry. Because she's making $100,000. She's making $100,000 a month, and you're making car payments. And if you're making car payments, you're probably making student loan payments. And if you're making car payments and student loan payments, guess what else? You're probably making phone payments. Have you guys noticed that the amount of money is getting higher and higher to switch cell phone companies? Hey, you come over here, we'll pay your phone off for $1,000 or less. They got to keep going up and up because you guys are getting deeper and deeper and deeper into phone debt. Think you guys are deep in cell phone debt. That's embarrassing. To be in debt to a phone. Again, I ain't hating on them. I ain't hating on them, Jewel. I'm not. LVMH stock doing well. See, I got to look that up. I don't even know what that is. It's damn near not every, but the majority of these channels, man. I'm just like, do these women know they don't have to accept that bullshit from debt slaves? Who you calling a hoe? You making car payments? Yeah, shut up. Bitch, you a hoe. You must be angry about it. Are you behind on your child support? That's why you're angry. That's why you're calling me a hoe. Because you're mad. You have to pay child support, and you're mad at the woman that you got to pay. That's why you're mad. You're not mad at me. You're mad at whoever you're mad at. That's why, ladies, that's why I keep telling you to bounce off you like bullets off of Superman, because you know that type of anger, they don't know you. They can't really be that angry. I mean, you hear some of these dudes, they be emotional. If you stop and think about it, they cannot be that angry at you because they don't know you. So it's obviously in their life. Somebody did them wrong. Bitch took him for everything, whatever the reason that made him angry. That's why he's mad. See what I'm saying? It's just the weirdest thing when I see stuff like that. It just doesn't make. Now, don't get me wrong. What Kevin Samuels does is business. That's business. If it's legal, it's business. I'm just telling you the content of that type of business. Without you, without women, there would be no Kevin Samuels. The reason why the majority of women don't know that, because they don't own themselves. That's why. You don't own yourself. Once you understand this, you won't accept that, because you won't care about the people that do stuff like that. Who cares? You want that kind of stuff just to bounce off you? Come see me and I help you own yourself. Once you own yourself, your dating problems are over. Infidelity, arguments, yelling and screaming, some even physical, all that stuff is over. Because think about it. Let me explain it to you. Once you own yourself, like people like me, men like me, I own myself. I know time is the most valuable thing on earth. Time. I'm not going to risk losing my time physically putting my hands, because I know I can go to jail. Going to jail means taking away the time. People think jail is like, oh, jail ain't no big deal. People just don't really understand. You know what that means? They're taking away something that you can never get back. Time. That's the important piece. You know you can't get that back, right? You think I'm gonna waste that in domestic violence? You think I'm gonna waste time in court, sitting in front of a judge, dictating my finances, how much is gonna go here? This is gonna go. Fuck no. Time. Again, when you see the women get on shows like that and get ridiculed, it's like, do you think you're a six? Forget everybody what everybody outside of you think. How do you feel about yourself? Do you think you're a six? Then who cares that somebody else does? Who cares? And it's like this when you really get outside the debt matrix, right? When you hear like Kevin, I'm gonna use Kevin Samuel since he's the known the best, right? Who you're hearing from is Kevin Samuel's LLC. Like you guys don't really understand. When I don't really I don't really watch those shows, but I've clicked on a couple of videos. I'm telling you, this is the way I look at it. When I see him, I see Kevin Samuels LLC because I don't know anything else. I don't know him personally. I see Kevin Samuels LLC, and I see he's making money. All right, is his business legal? Yeah, whatever. It's just not my type of content, so I just leave. It's not a big deal. I don't really care. I wouldn't go on to one of his videos, not like what he's talking about, and hit the dislike button. I don't care. Even listen, even hitting the dislike button would be a waste of my time because is what he's doing legal? Yeah, okay, cool, whatever. I don't care. Half the people that follow him, they think they know him personally. No, they know Kevin Samuels LLC. You guys have no idea what I mean. If somebody understands how it works, you guys have no idea what goes on in the background. You guys have no idea. Sometimes when you see, like, I know it's a little bit off, right? But sometimes you guys will see it kind of reminds me of the rap battles back in the late 80s and the 90s, right? Where the East Coast hated the West Coast and there's a rival war and then albums came out. It kind of feels like that. It's like, and I might be wrong, but sometimes I see things that just don't make sense. There's usually a reason when it doesn't make sense, right? All of a sudden, these people fight for no reason, worry about other. I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense to me. Why who cares why? Oh, it's business. Sometimes I think they be going in the background collaborating. Hey man, check this out. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say that. All they got to do is pretend. Again, I'm not saying it to this particularly to anybody, but as long as you guys are talking about them, making videos about them, tagging in them, that helps them. That's called business. Miami is one of the offshore banking hubs to the world. Offshore. I don't know. Lately, like I said, lately, you guys know I do everything the opposite of the majority. I do the opposite of the majority. And when I hear, it's like when you hear women bashing, it's just like, and women, it's just the weirdest shit to constantly hear it. But they're making the most money in the shortest amount of time, especially nowadays, too. Especially nowadays. The majority of everything's online. That's got to be hurting strip clubs. They're like women, like, wait a minute, I don't even need to be part of a strip club where they're taking my money. I could just do this shit right at home. Nobody know where I live. Be totally anonymous. Totally anonymous. Make all the money you want in that room, and then once you Get undressed, come out of that room. Guess what? Everything is left in that room. That personality, that business, LLC, the whatever, the S corp, whatever you turn it into, it's left there. Once you close the door, it's there. Then you could be your regular life. Do your regular life. It is pathetic. You're right. It is pathetic. All right. Any questions before I leave? I don't know. This one was on my mind. I had to talk about this because it was it's really, just like Gabriel said, it's really pathetic, man. And if you ever wake up, or a woman that has put herself in a situation like that, and you ever wake up and find yourself and own yourself, and then you look back and see what you allowed yourself to happen to you, you're going to be upset at yourself. You're going to be upset. You're going to be upset at yourself. Especially opinions from male debt slaves making car payments, student loan payments, cell phone payments, credit card payments. And you making that much money and you have no debt, $100,000 a month, and you have no personal debt. Half the dudes talking about you couldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole ever. They would never be able to make that much money ever. $100,000 a month. How many of those dudes that you think that are calling you hoes and bitches and you ain't shit? How many of those dudes you think will ever? They're trying to make $100,000 a year, and you're making it $100,000 a month. They will never see that ever. That's why that's why half of them are angry. I'll tell you guys another thing. You guys better get over that color thing. You guys better get over it. You better get over it. Debt is the colorblind slave master. Debt don't care what color you are. It doesn't care what state you live in. It doesn't care what city you're from. It doesn't care. Your credit report is your owner's ledger. All those businesses in there own a piece of you, debt slave, you. Everything you guys see could not exist without you, debt slaves. You think the stock market could exist if they didn't? If they said, "Hey, we're not allowing margin no more," how do you think the stock market would do if they said no more margin? What do you think would happen to the stock market? It could not exist without you, debt slaves. You. Investing with borrowed money. Debt slaves. What are you doing investing with borrowed money? By default, that means you're indirectly investing for the bank, but you're responsible for the debt. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. That's enough for today. Your woman, I strongly suggest you share this video. Make it go viral. Because more women need to hear the SMD philosophy. They do. No, the SMD facts. Excuse me, not philosophy. Let me make sure I don't want you guys. These are mathematical facts. Mathematical facts. So they control you. It's not about ownership. Yeah, it's about control. Believe that for sure. Once you guys really understand how it really works, you understand that all capitalist economies are psychological. No currency exists for debt slaves because they're in debt. Debt slaves can't own anything. They're in debt. This is why millions of them believe they can own a house with a mortgage. You can't do that. Who said you can do that? The bank? Mm. I'm just telling you, man. If more women hear what I said, man, things would change. They would change. Things would change for sure. You would always look at the person who's saying something negative to you. You would always turn to that person, look at them, and try to figure out if they're a debt slave or not. If they're a debt slave, who cares what they say? So what? You making student loan payments? Yeah, I don't care what you think about me. You're a debt slave. Shut up, bitch. You making car payments? Yeah. Shut up, debt slave. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. You're a debt slave. Now you can't say that out loud in public. I'm just saying that you say that in your mind. You just out loud in public, you say, okay, and then you walk away and just leave. Who cares what they're saying? So what? Leave them there talking. You go to a channel and they want women. All you got to do is just listen to the panel. Do you really want to get up there and subject yourself to what you're hearing right now? Don't waste your time. Leave. Exactly. Bitch, you for the streets. No, you shut up, bitch. You making car payments? Yeah. You shut up, bitch. What you mean I'm a bitch? You're making car payments. You shut up. Half the dudes you hear talking about investing in cryptocurrency, you say to them, "Do you got student loan debt?" If they say yes, they're the cryptocurrency. Hey man, I just invested in Bitcoin. Don't you got student loan debt? Yeah, you're the Bitcoin debt slave. You're the Bitcoin. Like I always tell everybody, and before I get out of here, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin could not exist without you debt slaves. If they only allowed whole Bitcoins to be purchased, how many of you guys think you could afford a whole Bitcoin? None. That's why they break it up in Bitcoin crumbs, just like car payments, just like mortgage payments, just like credit card payments. Without you, Bitcoin couldn't exist, debt slaves. You're the cryptocurrency. You're the whatever you want to be, whatever you want it to be, it will be. You guys have a good one. Later.